exchange of ideas and innovations. Schools and universities from different countries work together to share new ideas and inventions. This helps everyone to learn and improve. Example ito is yung mga researchers from, for example, researchers from China and Philippines, they join together to experiment. For example, to cure a disease, they experiment vaccines. Like that. Exchange of knowledge and ideas leading to a more important interconnected global community, as it brings the barrier between countries and foster collaboration. Environmental challenges. Globalization has caused problems in the environment, like pollution and climate change. This is because countries are more connected and what happens to one another affects the others. For example, pollution from factories in one country can travel to the air and affect the air quality in other countries or sa karating ng bansa. Environmental challenges highlights the interconnectedness of the world and the need for global cooperation to address it. Globalization of markets. Markets operating at the global level. This means that they are interconnected and depend on each other to function properly. This factor creates a global marketplace where goods and services flow freely across borders. This leads to increased competition, economic interdependence, and the spread of ideas and products worldwide. This is a core aspect of globalization, where economies are no longer isolated but integrated through trade and investment.
Great lesson morning to every one of us. Today I'm going to discuss the advantage of globalization. The first one is the peaceful relations. Now, no matter what experience of a country had, development of economy will be the first priority. So, this will only happen if the country had peaceful relations or connection to the other country. Para sa ganun is, mabigyan ng relasyon or magkakaroon ng stronger trade partnership and political alliances. The example is the Philippine membership with ASEAN, wherein they promote regional cooperation in trade, security, and political dialogue, contributing a peaceful environment. Okay, the next one is the employment. Because of globalization, there are many companies are investing here in the Philippines. At dahil dyan is nagkakaroon tayo ng job opportunities or nagkakaroon tayo ng increase employment opportunities kung saan makatulong ito para mag-boost ang ating Philippine economy. The next one is education. Ang education naman din ay nakakatulong upang mabigyan ng opportunity ang mga kabataan na katulad ko at katulad natin lahat ng mga pag-aaral sa ibang bansa o yung tinatawag natin na exchange students. And the next one is the product quality. Dito naman, in-ensure ang isang produkto kung ang quality ba nito ay maayos at ang example nito ay ang Philippine coconut industry. The next one is the cheaper price. Purchasing of product is very easy transaction today. Kasi the more na madaming na-import na produkto dito sa Pilipinas is the more na nakikipag-competition ang mga market or ang mga kumpanya. Kaya nga nangyayari is nagkakaroon tayo ng pagkababa ng mga presyo. And the next one is communication. Communication is faster and direct access to information and products. And ito ay naalawang Filipino to access global news, trends, and products, enabling real-time interaction and transaction. And next one is the transportation. Ang transportation din ay nakakatulong sa atin upang mapabilis o ito dito sa Pilipinas. And the next one is the gross domestic product. Nakakatulong din ang gross domestic product upang the economic equation boosts the country's GDP. And then the next one is the trade liberalization or free trade. Wherein dito, nagkakaroon tayo ng free trade agreement by promoting trade, by removing tariffs and quotas. Pag sinabi natin tariffs, ito yung sinasabi natin na tax na binabayaran kung saan kung tayo ay nag-import or nag-export ng mga produkto. Tapos kapag sinabi naman natin quotas, ito naman yung quantitative limit ng mga na-import or na-export natin ng produkto dito sa Pilipinas. And the next one is the Syrian and cluster travel and tourism increase. Dito naman, through globalization, different places in every part of the world are being promoted. Nakakatulong ito upang sa ganun is makilala pa ang mga magagandang lugar dito sa ating bansa. And the last is the external borrowing. Globalization allows the Philippines to access the international financial market to be a better access to external finance. And that's for today.
My name is Camille Alvarez. So I will discuss the disadvantage of globalization. Disadvantage of globalization can harm the local industries cause of job loss and increase inequality and damage the environment. First is health issue. Rise to more health risks. So, the first is COVID-19. So, COVID-19 is the global issue talaga siya. Nag-start siya in China. So, nung nag-start siya sa China, is iisa lang yung infected dito or infected dun sa China and na madami naging affected hanggang sa may isang Pilipino na naapektuhan nito and parang nag-travel siya in Philippines and madami na siyang mga naapektuhan hanggang sa nagkaroon tayo ng economic loss na rin kasi nagkaroon tayo ng mga utang dahil sa mga vaccination, may mga protocols na kailangan natin sundin para kahit katulad nung mga curfew, tapos may mga checkpoint pa para lang dun sa mga pumupunta sa ibang lugar para ma-check nila kung may mga infected ba ng virus na yun. And doon, so 5 million people in the Philippines is nawalan ng trabaho sa panahon ng COVID-19. So 2019 yun. So ang daming nawalan ng trabaho. Siyempre, katulad ng mga magulang nyo, nawala sila ng trabaho, saan sila manguha. So talagang nahihirapan din sila nung panahon na yun. And HIV is hanggang ngayon is issue siya dito sa worldwide. So, estimated na 39.9 million dito sa buong mundo ay may HIV affected. So, sa Pilipinas, 2016, 56,000 cases ang naging affected dito sa Pilipino na living in the HIV. So, noong 2022 naman is 142,000 ang naging cases ng HIV. So now na 2025, 201,000 cases ang naging case na HIV. So nag-increase pa siya, hindi siya bumaba, mas dumami pa. Nakakahawa siya sa pakikipagtalik. So sex and blood transfusion and yung sa mother na infected infected na may HIV. So yung bata na pinagbubuntis niya is possible na magkakaroon ng HIV. So hindi nakakahawa yung paghubog. Kumari ako may HIV. Tapos sinawakan ko yung ballpen ng katabi ko, tapos alam niya ng HIV ako. Hindi po nakakahawa pinapakita niya is adaptation ng mga Pilipino. So, K-drama, Hollywood, may mga Pilipinos kasi na sila pa yung nag-umaarte ng mga K-drama. Sana gumagawa tayo ng mga unique, parang bago para sa atin. Wala. Mas ina-adapt pa natin yung culture ng iba or yung mga meron sa iba. And katulad ng ramen, samgyup, ayan, yung mga mas gusto pa natin kaysa sa adobo ni mama mo, sinigang ni mama mo, ganyan. And SB19 is binompare siya noon sa BTS, yung hindi pa sila ganun ka pasikat. So, doon is parang pinag-aano nila na ginagaya daw ng SB19 ang BTS nila. Taeyong, Jimin, yan, Jungkook,
Ano ba?
etc. And, habang tumatagal, so may mga nakompose din ang SB19 na mas naging improve ang success. Unique sila kasi may isang silang composer na si Pablo Nasser na, ayan, yung writer nila ng mga songs nila, yung mga mapa, niebe, ganyan. So, be proud sa ating mga Pilipino sana na mas tangkilikin natin yung sariling asin. And next is Universal Health Distribution Rich get richer, poor gets richer. This different presents serious challenge to the Filipino less resources. So dito is, pinapakita niya, may laro. Si Alyssa ay may mas maraming barya. Si Mia ay kakaunting barya. So, ang mangyayari dito is si Alyssa is mas mabilis dadami yung pera niya. And si Mia naman is susunod lang, pero hindi siya ganun kasi may mga pupuntahan pa yung barya niya. Kasi nga kakaunti lang ito. So, ito is ano natin sa ating real life. So, OFW. May mga OFW na mayayaman na sila, pupunta pa sila sa ibang bansa. Tapos, kumikita sila doon, mas nag-i-invest pa sila dito, mga lupa, mga businesses. And, kapag yung mahirap naman na, kunwari ako ulit, mahirap lang ako, tapos gusto ko na mas umunlad yung pamilya ko kasi nga baon kami sa utang, ganyan. And pupunta ako sa ibang bansa. So, 1 month ng sweldo ko is 30,000 doon. And yung 20,000 is ipapadala ko sa pamilya ko, sa akin yung 10,000. So, yung 20,000 na yun is, kunwari utang kami noon na 5,000. Tapos, babayaran yun. So, 15,000 na lang. So, may mga anak pa ako, kunwari. And, yung 15,000 na yun, hahatiin, syempre, sa pang mga ulaw, ganyan, pang, expenses. And, yung 7,000 pa na natira is pang baon ng mga bata, ganyan, sa mga iba pang bilhin. And, parang, ang inaano nito is, yung mayaman, mas yumayaman. Yung mahirap, mas humihirap. Ganun yung nagiging kasi niya. Di ba, may mga 5, 6 ganyan na minsan nahulong tayo sa mga ganong mga. Environmental degradation, lack of sustained development. Unsustainable practices can harm the environment. So, mining, deforestation. Yung mga yan is, kapag ba yung Sierra Madre, pinakalbo mo yan, tapos pinatayuan mo ng mga buildings, mga bahay, tapos mabibigyan tayo ng trabaho. Mas taas yung economic natin, pero ang maapektuhan is tayong mga Pilipino. Parang ang mangyayari dito is, kagaya noon, dito sa ating city is This part economic and technological divide, global divide. So sa Indian is urban area is like Metro Manila, is most advantage of global connectivity. Rural area is digital divide is evident in the region when internet access is limited. So, dito, may alam ba kayo ng mga limited lang ang internet connection? Dito, barrio. So, sa India din is may mga parts sa kanila doon is mga walang internet. And dito sa atin is may alam sa Palanan Isabela kasi before is hindi pa naman siya ganun lang madaming wala kasi lang kuryente. And ang nangyari doon is 9 o'clock ng umaga may kuryente sila. And sa 9 o'clock ng gabi papatayin, parang magbabranout sila. Araw-araw yun na nangyayari doon. Pero kahit na ngayon na mayroon na silang wifi, mayroon na silang mga electricity, ganyan, hindi na sila madalas mag-brownout. Ngayon is parang mas ano na sila. Mag-improve na din, pero may mga barangay doon na wala talaga kuryente, walang internet access. Pupunta ka sila sa sentro nila sa Palanan Isabela para makakonect sa barangay Tidya, Palanan Isabela. So, doon is walang internet access, walang kuryente, ganyan. Buong yung ano lang ang inaano nila, ilaw nila gano'n. Pero ngayon naman is may mga nabibili ng solar. Conflict, terrorism, and violence. So, conflict, terrorism, and violence, introducing the foreign ideologies or economic pressure. So, example dyan is yung Ukraine and Russia. So, yung Ukraine and Russia, akala yung Russia is mabilis nilang masasakop ang Ukraine. And 80,000 plus is namatay na mga civilian dyan sa Ukraine. And may mga sugatan pa. So, 1,000 plus din yung mga naging sugatan. So, sa nangyari yun is may mga tumulong naman sa kanilang mga bansa. Katulad ng US, Japan, United Kingdom, and Australia. So, madami pa. And binigyan sila ng humanitarian aids and yung military support. So, doon sa mga yun is may mga bansa rin na nagbigay ng suporta. Isa na rin tayo mga Pilipino. Ang pinasalamatan ni President Vladimir si Bongbong Marcos para sa kanyang suporta para sa soberanya ng Ukraine. So, sa phone call is nag-usap sila ni President Vladimir and Bongbong Marcos na parang ang gustong paiwatig ni Bongbong Marcos na para silang bansa na gusto din ng peace na bansa, katahimikan para sa bansa. And kaya kasi sabi yun kasi is nangyayari din sa atin to ngayon sa West Philippine Sea. So West Philippine Sea and West Philippine Sea is alam naman natin or nababalitaan natin sa mga Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, yan, na pinawater cannon yung mga Coast Guard natin na talagang violence na siya dahil may mga naputulan pa ng daliri para lang maghatid ng pagkain sa PRP Sierra Madre natin. So, yun is talagang alarm. Sana sa ating gobyerno, wag silang padalos-dalos sa mga ginagawa nila or sa mga gagawin pa nila kasi kapag padalos-dalos sila, tayong mga local force so, may mga interest na nangyayari sa local markets. So, kapag yung sa public, dito naman sa Kawayan, dito sa Primark, may mga, alam niyo naman na may mga nagbebenta ng mga damit, ganyan. So, madami kasi doon. Doon, pwede mong tawaran. Pwede mong tawaran. Pero pag nag-sale ang Save More, ang SM, ganyan, Robinson, is parang ang mangyayari dito, madaming pupunta doon. Eh, syempre, alam nila may quality yung gamit sa SM. Like, nung nag-open sa, nag-sale sa Parisha, nag-200 lang, wala nang So, kakaunti lang yung pumunta sa Primark. So, kasi tatawaran mo lang naman yun. Eh, 150. 150 yung tawad mo. Tapos, yung quality pala, hindi din naman ganun naman tatagal. Pero kapag pumunta ka sa SM, talagang alam mo naman kasi na magtatagalan, unique din yung mga meron silang gamit doon. And that's all. Thank you.
So, good morning everyone. I'm Alaysa Rehan. I will be discussing about the four theories of globalization. So, first is begin with the theory of liberty. Sabi dyan is this theory argues that globalization leads to greater cooperation and interdependence between countries. So, naniniwala ang liberalismo na kapag naging paglalakad tayo sa ibang bansa or free trade, mas nagiging mas malayong pakikipagkalakalan sa liberalismo at pagkakaroon ng cooperation sa ibang bansa at mga free markets, democracy at human rights. So sa Pilipinas, makikita ang influensya ng liberalismo sa katulad ng WTO or World Trade Organization. Layunin nito na makapagpadala tayo ng mga produkto natin sa ibang bansa at pati rin sa atin na makapagpadala tayo sa ibang bansa. And dito sa liberalismo ay dito sa globalization ay mas nagulog ng international community by free trade and sharing political ideas, mainly democracy and left-wing ideas, and promoting human rights. Next is the theory of political realism. Global politics are driven by self-interest and power, while focuses on competition rather than cooperation. Dito naman sa theory of realism is mas nagiging ibabaw yung mga interes ng mga matataas na tao or nakikipag-compete sila sa ibang bansa or parang mas inuuna nila yung interes nila at kapangyarihan sa ibang bansa kaysa makipag-operate or makipag-buklod sa ibang bansa. Ang example nito is mutual defense treaty. Sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at established politicos ay estrategico ng hakbang upang protektahan ang soberanya ng bansa laban sa mga banta at mga trade lalo sa issue ng mga West Philippine Sea at Pilipinas. Diba dito is nag-aaway-aaway ang Pilipinas at West Philippine Sea dahil sa pagmamayari ng mga Pilipinas. Kaya nakikipag-sundo sila sa US para maprotektahan natin yung sarili natin. Next is Marxist theory or Marxism. It emphasizes class struggle and the unequal distribution of wealth. Dito naman, parang napagsasamantala yung mga overseas Filipino workers natin and then naghihirap yung mga manuhirap at yung mayaman naman yung mga mayaman. Parang sinabi dito rin na kapag mas malaki yung pera mo, mas nag-i-invest ka ng mas malaki. Pero kapag mas maliit naman ang pera mo, mas nag-i-invest ka rin sa parang walang tumataas na investment kapag maliit yung pera mo. by ideas, identities, and norms. Naniniwala naman dito ang constructivism sa pakikipag-interaction natin sa mga ibang tao or ibang bansa, sa pagkikilahok sa mga organisasyon tulad ng United Nations. Sa United Nations is iba't ibang bansa ang nakikilahok dito para makapag-meeting or ma-share nila yung mga ideas nila sa isa't isa. Ganun, sa paraang gano'n, naibahan yung mga pananaw at mga paniniwala ng ibang bansa dahil sa pakikipag-cooperation nito. Kaya nawawalan na yung mga dating pananaw or ideas nila dahil sa pakikipag-cooperation nila sa ibang bansa. That's all.
Good day everyone. My name is Leslie Lecariaga and I will continue the theory of governance. Number 5 is the postmodernism theory. Postmodernism theory is a theoretical approach that critiques established norms and ideologies, arguing that reality is subjective and socially constructed. In globalization, it highlights the coexistence multiple realities rather than a single dominant narratives. For example, is yung Miss Universe. Nagkakaroon tayo ng representative na Pilipino to represent Philippines. And another example is yung influence ng K-pop. Gaya ng sinabi kanina ni Camille sa culture loss, na na-aadopt natin yung paano sila manamili kung ano yung kinakain. Next is the feminism theory. Feminism theory is a movement and theoretical framework that seeks to understand and address gender inequalities. In the context of globalization, it explores how international economic and cultural forces shape women's roles and rights. May mga pangunahing din uri ng feminism theory gaya ng ecofeminism, intersectional feminism, Marxist or social feminism, radical feminism, and yung last is the liberal feminism. Ang liberal feminism is naniniwala na ang solusyon sa gender inequality ay sa pamamagitan ng batas at patakaran. Halimbawa is yung kampanya para sa Equal Pay Act. Upang sa kinapantay ang sahod ng kalalakihan sa kababaihan. This example illustrates how feminism and globalization, gender highlighting both the opportunities and inequalities that arise in globalized economy. Second is the transformationalism theory. It's a theoretical perspective that unites globalization as a continuous and evolving process that shapes institutions, identities, and relationships in unpredictable ways. Ang transformationalism daw is yung nagdarayong pag-aralan ang proseso ng pagbabago at pag-ulat ng mga tao sa lipunan. For example, is yung chapter sa Facebook is example how globalization is transforming traditional business model and social interaction. Another example is yung teknolohiya ngayon. Nagbabago ito ng nagiging mas advanced. Kaya nung dati is rotary phone lang, tapos ngayon naging smartphone na may mga application na din and internet. Last is the eclecticism theory. Is an approach that draws from multiple theories and methodologies to analyze complex phenomena. In globalization, it suggests that various perspectives must be combined to fully grasp in its diverse and interconnected impacts. For example, is the Philippine mix approach to education reforms combined with Western models such
as K-12 system inspired by American education, Asian approaches such as Singapore's focus on STEM and indigenous learning systems such as mother tongue-based multilingual education. This reflects an electric strategy that integrates different educational philosophies. This example demonstrates how ellipticism allows societies to merge different theories and models to address complex issues like education, ensuring that globalization is adapted to local contexts rather than imposed uniformly. These were theories offer diverse interpretation of globalization. By that, we can see that globalization is a multi-dimensional process influenced by cultural narratives, gender dynamics, involving structure and combination of theory factors. That's all.
Summarize, we have discussed that globalization is just all about the interconnectedness of each country, the interdependence of different societies, on how they bring their cultures, traditions, and how they introduce their differences towards each other's country. So, with the factors of globalization, there are 9, I think, but I will just be highlighting some, which it is really connected with globalization, and that is the global labor market. With us being open with some opportunities abroad, I think it is one of our benefits, or one of the benefits that globalization have given unto us. I think being open with other countries is opening some opportunities, especially to us Filipinos, because alam naman natin na Filipinos or the Philippines has a high standard on setting high standard when it comes to employment. And sa atin naman, mostly Filipinos, they are not, they didn't attain college education, or they didn't complete college education. That is why nahihirapan silang pumasok employment due to high standards here in the country. So, the opportunity that globalization has given unto us is, tayo kasi, ang gusto lang natin is to provide the needs or to attain the needs of our family or our loved ones. So, merong ino-offer sa ibang bansa na parang ano lang siya, hindi siya need ng standard or ng high education attainment. And that is, mas mataas pa yung parang sweldo na binibigay nila. Yun naman ang gusto ng mga parents or ng mga magulang is yung kumita lang ng pera para may pang sustain ng mga pangangailangan ng kanilang mga pamilya. Next is the cultural exchange and media. Ito rin ang one factor that globalization had brought into us, the cultural exchange. With this, natututo tayo ng ibang cultures, ng ibang bansa, which in turn, na-appreciate natin yung culture nila, and at the same time, may introduce din natin sa kanila yung culture natin. Next is, transportation innovations. Without globalization, or without transportation innovation, globalization would not be as much convenient as it is right now. But without globalization or without technological globalization, hindi rin mabubuo ang transportation innovations. How could we invent machines that we can use in transportation if there is no technological globalization? Next is education and knowledge exchange. This is also one factor that the globalization had brought to us, or it is one of the opportunities that the globalization had given us. It is education and knowledge exchange. Dito kasi sa atin, parang, yun nga, it is similar to the employment na parang mas mataas ang standard ng Philippines when it comes to education. But through globalization, meron yung mga chance ng mga students na yung mga matatalino na naging exchange students, in which it opens a lot of opportunities for them, especially with their future or with their future jobs.
And this is also the highlight of globalization. Maybe I could just say that it is negative impact of globalization. Because with globalization, parang yung COVID-19 nga, environmental challenges, the more chances na open ang country natin sa mga visitors sa ibang nationality, the more chances that we don't know kung ano yung dala nila sa atin. Just like back when in 2019, hindi tayo aware that one Chinese na nag-enter sa ating country is may dala na pala siyang virus, which in turn nakasalamuhan na yung ibang mga tao, and that is how COVID-19 is spread widely. Next is with the advantages and disadvantages. It is just similar with the factors. So, I just want to highlight something from here. It is about the politics, product quality. So, the product quality meeting international standards. The more chances na papakilala yung ibang culture sa atin, the more chances na na-adapt natin yung mga products nila. And nagtatangkilik kasi ng mga Pilipino yung mga products ng Chinese, Korean. That is why Filipinos tend to create something, to innovate something na matatangkilik din ng kapwa natin Pilipino. So, the more chances na mas na-appreciate nila yung culture ng iba, the more chances na yung mga manggagawa or local makers is parang ginagawa nila na mas quality yung product natin so that our products could also be introduced with other countries. And basta yung political kanina. So sa political, sabi doon, saan yung theories? Ito. Theory of political realism. Sabi dito, that global politics are driven by self-interest and power. Yes, I would highlight the self-interest and power. So, at the time of parang campaign, it is within the self-interest of the people. Kung sino yung pipiliin nila, kung sino yung kapanila nila. And more chances na mas sikat ang isang tao, mas kilala ang isang tao, the more chances na sila yung mabuko sa position na gusto nila. And after election, I could say that it is the self-interest of those who has been elected. Ang nananay is self-interest nila. Why? During the campaign, it is the self-interest of the people. Kasi parang palamangan sila ng mga advocacy, ng mga promises, but in turn, after being elected to the position that they want, yung power na meron sila is parang inuuna na lang nila yung sarili nila. Why? Because syempre, mostly politicians, mas magaling lang sa salita pero walang gawa. So, often focuses on competition rather than cooperation. Yes, politicians are more of competition. Why? Karamihan sila ng mga like that advocacy, pero in turns, wala namang nagagawa after ng elections. And last is the eclecticism theory. So, dito may explain niya na that every theory or that there is no single theory that can explain the complexity of globalization. We all know that globalization is so wide, so broad topic of globalization. That is why this theory will explain that Marxism theory, feminism theory, or any theory cannot explain the complexity of globalization. And to finally conclude this topic, I would say that globalization has a negative and positive impact within the country. Maybe there are a lot of positive impact, but those positive